Hello everybody and welcome back. This is The Bandit and this is Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. In this episode, we are going to do what I said in the last episode and finish up the Lamborghini Miura. And yes, we are actually going to finish up the Miura this episode. We should not be stumped and we should not have to worry about it taking all the time in the world. Now, we are going to lower the car so we can do some of the top-end engine work. Get back to basics, as they say. On the top end of the car. And deal with the ever-growing struggle of selecting a new part that isn't a performance part. So, with pretty much this entire car, again, very unique setup on how they did it with the dual engines, and the fact that they mirrored the engine for the other side of this. I just had a thought of, I wonder what would happen if I put in, like, oh, I think I lost power putting regular parts in, but I think the secondary engine is just for show, so the performance parts a waste? They might be. Oh no. Plus, sometimes the parts order gets mixed up on these things. So, I'm not too concerned about it if a regular performance part slipped in. I know it's like, oh, this is the performance series, why are we putting regular parts in? But, I mean, it's kind of hard sometimes to make sure that everything goes in according to plan. Now, we have to rebuild this engine from the ground up. Which, it's the same thing over and over. Again, the problem with the inlines are the stupid amount of camshaft caps. Which I wouldn't say are stupid. I mean, they are all there for a reason. They weren't there, the camshaft would lift up, it would bend, it would break, and generally it's not a good day when that happens. In fact, something that this game doesn't really do is have a proper detorque sequence for these parts. So the way I'm putting them in would actually destroy the camshaft. Again, I wish they did, I wouldn't say, go full on realism, but kind of make it a little more realistic in regards of proper detorque, proper torque sequence. I'm not saying it's like, oh, have a specific torque value for these engines, but that would be kind of cool. They had a proper torque sequence and all. And I don't know, it's something I feel is missing. And there you can see the glory of installing parts way too early. But on this car, everything is just crammed in. Oh yeah, that's right. And I know I do not have those pesky, pesky, pesky clips. And say it with me, if you will, buy a lot of them. Because believe me, you will need them. Where? Okay, there it is. Like, where's these engine heads? Or the covers? Yeah, but yes, buy a whole bunch of clips. Generally, they can't be rebuilt, but they are one of the many components that can break. Generally, you'll be using the clips for the air filter boxes and the distributors. And because this car has outside air filters, they're just used on the distributor. And by outside air filters, I mean ones attached to the carburetors. Now, I do believe everything's done up above, so we can actually raise the engine, the entire car again, finish up the rear end, work, and go on to the outside. And oh boy, is this going to be tight. Yeah. Generally speaking, engine work in this game, especially when you have dual engines, dual suspension in, it can get a little clamped. Especially with the dual exhaust right there. Unfortunately, this car, the exhaust will not be 100% accurate, but it's kind of hard to get it to work. Again, modders have to make do with what they have, not what they want to do. Great little inside shot right there. Without further ado, let's get the front end built, and the front sway bar is missing. Well, actually not missing, but broken. Let's get about 20 of them. Oh yes, my favorite. The fuel tanks. These things, unserviceable. Get a new one. By get a new one, I mean spam the living crap out of it. Okay, so we're gonna need one front steering knuckle cover. Get 15 of those, and our upper suspension arm. Get about 15 of these. Generally, if you're gonna have an issue, it is gonna be with the suspension components. Just due to the fact that there's a whole bunch of them. Funny how that works. Now for a car from the 60s, I'm kind of surprised it had all-wheel disc. I mean, I know it was a performance car, but it's always nice to see an all-wheel disc. Now, there will be some car variants in this game that will have an all-wheel drum, which is kind of sketch, but I just prefer discs over drums. Unfortunately, this game makes drum breaks look like a joke. I mean, honestly, drum breaks are basic in this game. Another downside to it, unfortunately, because when you look at drum breaks, you would think, oh, well, if you looked at them in this game, it's like, oh, these aren't that bad, but if you do them on your own car, it's like, whoa, what the heck is all this? They are literally the worst brake system you could probably work on. I mean, I know they're not that bad the more you do them, I mean, the proper tools you have, but if you don't know what you're doing, they are a pain. Believe me, they are a pain. Once you do them a whole bunch of times, they're easy. You, maybe once, twice, not good. And if you do something wrong, you gotta tear it all apart and do it again. But we will cover disc brakes, or drum brakes, when we get to them. But enough of talking about horrible things, because we are almost done with the Miura. Final thing we have to do is install the radiator, which I know we do not have any. Also, a very peculiar thing about this game, Radiator A and Radiator C. Do not ask me about Radiator B. I have no idea. Another pain. Have to go in through the back, get those done. Is this dual fan? Yes. Okay, so radiator fan, housing B. Gonna get a whole bunch of these. Get about 20. And do the same for the fans. Which is a little bit of a fancy radiator system. You have a low speed fan and a high speed fan. And there we go. Now, we go to car status, scroll all the way to the bottom. Some of these will be left undone. Serpentine belt. What's serpentine? Oh, I see which serpentine belt I'm missing. Okay. It should all be bodywork. So let's undo this and start pouring in oil. And generally you want to go until you're at that point, where it starts to, tip out. Okay, so yeah, the oil level is fine. It's in between min and max. Is at a good level. Everything is done. Wouldn't be able to pour oil if we couldn't. So let's go on to the outside bodywork. Oops. No. Assembly mode. Unfortunately, this can be a little difficult. But in our case, it was not too bad. So we are gonna need pretty much everything for this car. And this is where problems start to come in. So if we go over to our community cars body shop, we now have to wait for the entire community's body shop mods, pretty much any mods you have to wait for them to load in. Which, there we go. And it is very laggy, the more you have. just do that. Go into the search bar, type in Miura, and boom, we have everything. So make a note of which parts you have and which parts you are missing. I am pretty much missing everything. No, I did not have that. Do that. Do that. Okay, cool. So let us go in and install the parts. Do not forget about your glass, you will need it. And there we go. So now all we need is the front license plate, the rear license plate, and steering wheel 3. So if we go over to body shop, and we type in 3, steering wheel 3, and then we just go over to our license plates. We have a whole bunch we can pick from. Of course, I have some mod ones, but we will get to those at a later time. Because we are in... And normally you could pick whichever license plate you want. We have all the states. Because I'm in Arizona, we're going to buy a whole bunch of Arizona plates. These will be our main license plates. Now you can customize them if you want, however, I'm not going to. Not because I don't want to, it's just they can get pricey. And as you can see, our car's value has pretty much gone through the roof, and we almost made 1 million credits restoring the car. Now, as you can tell, the car, while it says 100, doesn't look 100. So we are going to move the car over to our paint shop. Pop the door open. You don't have to close it, but I just choose to. We're going to paint it factory color. You can choose livery if your car has one. You can also change your paint type to matte, pearl, or chameleon, or chrome, and change your paint colors. We're going to keep this car in its factory baby blue, because why not? With all of our cars, we are going to go over to the dyno, do a dyno run, which does not cost money. Now this car made 150 horsepower from the factory, and 173 newton meters of torque. So let's fire up and let's see how she does. And we got an so we got 200 horsepower and 374 newton meters, so a huge gain in performance. Before I do anything, let us move our Blazer, my apologies, Bronco, oh boy, I'm already gonna get the crap for that one. And we are going to take our car over to the speed track. We're going to take the Miura, since it is the only car that will run. If your car doesn't run, it won't go out on the track. If it doesn't have any oil, you can't do the dyno, blah de blah blah de blah. It's a whole big process. Now, there are some custom maps, but we will get to them at a later point. With some more different, unique-ish vehicles. So, while we wait for this to load... Oh, nope, there it is. It's in here, the engine, and... Oh, that's awkward, our steering wheel went away. C is to change camera. You have interior, outside, and... Oh, I forgot to add the steering wheel. That's what... Oops, and free fall. So technically, this thing shouldn't steer. Yet it does. Oh boy. Luckily you don't need a steering wheel for what we're about to do, so let's roll. Rev out. Oh god. Oh no. Oh no. Unfortunately, that's a common problem with these cars. The game's handling hitbox is not well, and the more horsepower you have, doesn't help. Granted, it also doesn't help we put on vintage tires, but, you know. So it be. Also, yes, the brakes do lock up at the end, and your car just goes soaring off. But that is generally the main problem when you shift, especially out of first gear. Holy moly, it is horrendous. And I do mean horrendous. So, with that all being done, let's get the steering wheel in. As you can see, apparently interior parts are not necessary to drive a vehicle. I did buy the car part, I just didn't install it. And we're going to wrap it up with it going on the test path. Now, the test path would be used for diagnosing which parts are faulty, and blah 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 blah. And, oh. The Miura is still in the dyno. Oops. Let's do tier disassembly. Put that on. Normal mode. Move the car over to the test path. Doot. Head on over to the test path. That is not over there. Here it is. So to run the test path, click test path. Car will fire up, as you can tell. Pull the car forward. Hold the brakes. We'll see how well the brakes work. Pretty much just do all it says to do. This will jimmy and rattle the car. And of course, the weaker the components you have, the worse it's gonna be. And here's our status report. Unsurprising. And also, the car does not suffer any damage or use when you use it. Rather nice. However, the kilometers, that's gearing, the kilometers will add up. So as you can see, we put on about 4 kilometers on the car. Not bad. 5. Oh, that was... So as you can see, whenever the car loads into a different area, does put the non-working engine in a standardish mode. What I mean by that is it takes off the performance parts. I should have known that. I did not. So we will mark that down as an L for me. However, it still has oil, and that is the important part. Yep. Alright. So when every car is finished, we will be moving it to parking. And let's head over to the parking. Right now I only have one parking lot. Actually two, my apologies. No, only one, my bad. You have to buy that parking space. And you can have up to 13 different levels. Unfortunately, you can't have more. I wish you could, but you can't. Kinda dumb. Now, the more cars you have in there, the more it will take to load, but since we only have two, should be a relatively quick process to load. Now, it is going to be a pain loading back to the shop just due to the fact, have a lot of extra parts, mod cars there, but here's our parking. This is the same on every floor, so not different than in Car Mechanics Simulator 28 or 2015. Now outside towards the city. Again, not bad, but kind of a little basic. But our main focus here is looking at the cars. Now, of course, you can open up the car, view the beautiful engine, view the sidewalk, the Breton logo, and grab our other car. Here we can do photos, overview, or car status. So if we go to car status, and click move to the garage, it will vanish. Now, when you move a car, the next car in line will move over. So the Miura will actually move over after we are done. And we come back at a later point. And that is all fun and good. However, like all good things, we are going to end the episode off here a little early, but nothing that isn't going to be solved in the next episode. So in the next episode, we will be working on our Ford Bronco Mark III police cruiser, bringing it back up to spec. And who knows? Maybe we'll get a little bit of, we're able to pull the engine and I can show off the engine stand. Or I can get confused again and waste about, say, $10,000 to $20,000 of parts. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Till next time. Goodbye. Oh yeah, in case you were wondering, this is what we have to do. Yeah. Relatively normal, I'd say. And in the inside, not much. Alrighty. Well, see you guys next time.